Well, developing now, the new U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi is banning the Justice Department from sending money to sanctuary cities.
And that's on top of a lawsuit filed just today against Illinois and the city of Chicago for not cooperating with ICE raids. Now, all of this, of course, has city and state leaders anxious about the impact, with billions of dollars potentially in federal funding at stake here.
Several days later.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry we were a little bit late. I was in the West Wing swearing in Tulsi Gabbard, and so I just came straight back here. So thanks for being patient with us with the delay. We're here today because we have filed charges against the state of New York. We have filed charges against Kathy Hochul. We have filed charges against Letitia James and Mark Schroeder, who is with DMV. This is a new DOJ, and we are taking steps to protect Americans, American citizens, and angel moms, like the mom standing right behind me, who you're going to hear from in a moment. New York has chosen to prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens. It stops today. As you know, we sued Illinois, and New York didn't listen. So now you're next. Millions of illegal aliens with violent records have flooded into our communities, bringing violence.
New York Attorney General Letitia James and Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg joined a new group of 8 Democrat-fueled Trump plans to punish by revoking any access to classified information and barring their entry to federal facilities. It could hamper them in carrying out their official duties by prohibiting them from entering courthouses, prison, and law enforcement facilities in Foley Square in Lower Manhattan, including... I don't want to proceed to read this. Yesterday, about 18 crazy lawyers stood up with Letitia James, Sue Elon Musk, and the Trump administration for fighting for the American people. At a certain point, what I've seen within the space of 48 hours, it is extremely concerning.
And that's why President Trump has directed this to stop. And if you don't comply with federal law, we will hold you accountable. We did it to Illinois, strike 1. Strike 2 is New York. And if you are a state not complying with federal law, you're next, get ready. And the great men and women of law enforcement are standing behind me today. We have FBI, DEA, ATF agents. They put their lives on the line every single day to protect us. And what New York has, they have green light laws, meaning they're giving a green light to any illegal alien in New York, where law enforcement officers cannot check their identity if they pull them over. Law enforcement officers do not have access to their background. And if these great men and women pull over someone and don't have access to their background, they have no idea who they're dealing with. And it puts their lives on the line every single day. Violent criminals, gang members, drug traffickers, human smugglers will no longer terrorize the American people. And that is why we are here today. You will be held accountable if you do not follow federal law. It's over, it ends, and we're coming after you. Questions?
We have time for a few questions. David Spott with Fox News.
Madam Attorney General, thank you and welcome to the Justice Department.
Thank you.
I have a quick on-topic and a quick off-topic question. On-topic, in your executive order or in your orders on the first day you were here, you talked about working with the Justice Department or these sanctuary cities, as you say, will be punished. Today you're putting people on notice. Right now we're just lawsuits. Is this going to go further? What kind of punishment are we talking about? Is there any grounds to charge individuals, charge politicians? How far is this going to go?
Well, we're going to see what they do next, David. We have sued them all. We personally sued the governor, the Attorney General, Letitia James, and Mark Schroeder with DMV because he has the green light laws. So what they have to do, they have to start complying with federal law. If they don't, we're going to appeal it, and we will win. They have to comply with federal law.
Illinois, we have grit, we are tough, we are strong, and Donald Trump has no idea what he's up against.
All right, correspondent Alex Carpiello live here in Chicago. Alex, the governor really remaining steadfast in his response to this lawsuit.
Yeah, that press conference wrapped up just moments ago. We saw the Illinois governor really go on the defense, backing up the merits of the Illinois Trust Act, the law, the part of the Constitution that's at the center of it all, which we know protects undocumented immigrants and also prohibits the state, county, and local law enforcement from directly assisting federal immigration officers. This is the reason why Chicago and Illinois has been the center of the federal government's attention. The governor says that lawsuit really is just a distraction to what the federal government is doing. He says that's violating immigrant civil rights. He also says his state's lawyers are going through that 23-page lawsuit as we speak, and they're going to fight back to protect the state's constitution as it's currently written.
What does the response of the Trump administration send to any federal bureaucrats that are thinking about obstructing the president's agenda?
They will be held accountable. The president is signing executive orders daily, and he expects all officials across the administration, regardless if they are a political appointee or if they are a career bureaucrat, to adhere to the will of the American people and the 77 million Americans who reelected President Trump. He is here for a reason, and he is focused every day on implementing his administration's goals and sending $59 million to a migrant hotel to house illegal immigrants when there are still people in North Carolina and California who have not received FEMA funding is not something that this administration is going to tolerate.
Yes, this is a long legal battle. I don't know if Letitia James was actually ready for this. We have seen her vibrating since day one to the Letitia James thought going after Trump won't stop. Now, this is coming in. I'm actually glad that these people should be held accountable. When I look at what she did to Trump, and she is still under investigations for what she accuses Trump of doing. In fact, let me not go into that because that is actually a different segment for another day. I read through the article today pertaining to what is going on. This lady is in trouble. Yes, if you don't know, last week the Justice Department asked a federal judge to immediately strike down sanctuary policies in Illinois and Chicago, arguing state and local officials are an obstacle to the federal government enforcement of the immigration laws and discriminate against federal immigration enforcement. Bondi, on her first day in office, also froze all DOJ funding for 60 days to so-called sanctuary jurisdiction from New York to California. In 2023, those laws enforcement grant to New York City alone amounted to more than 1.5 billion, according to Center for Immigration Services, a consecutive non-profit research organization. The Justice Department had been expected to fork over more than 8 billion in funding to cities agencies in fiscal year 2025.
I'm not going to say good morning because it's not a good morning.
Regulations on the environment, regulations on the Second Amendment, the Title IX guidance, and not just the big shit. You want to make America great again? If you're going to make us great, you're going to have to roll further back than the 70s.
Thank you guys for always been sharing on my videos. I don't want to make it long. If you see clips behind here, this is for the algorithm. Someone asked me, is it helping your channel? Yes, it is helping the channel. If it was not helping, I would not put.
Mind-boggling that he would be shutting down PEPFAR.
A bully and a thug who's the president of the United States, U.S., it's everywhere.
There is a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse within a system.
Audits
early on, immediately.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10 to her.
No, the EU does not treat the U.S. fairly on trade and that he has some big complaints. Is that true?
Right? And it doesn't mean that we should sit and pretend that it's suddenly okay, that this new presidency is just going to keep on keeping on. That is not the case. And
awful things have happened. So and sparks move things. And it doesn't matter how much water you have.
Future president and his gag
are a quality in policy.
The city of the Pacific Palisades is burning, and
I flew here last night. I was on a plane.
You getting water to areas that need.
He's been trained his whole life to do.
The Democratic Party has about everything.
The next department that appears to be on the chopping block is the Department of Education. Just earlier today.
So clarifying that.
Here's what I think is a joke.
Oh, which side are you on?
Last decade, last 10 years, Musk company, SpaceX.